Hi everyone, a journal page today, and I've posted it on my Facebook page a while ago and you've asked for a video, so we are going to do something similar today. So same technique, different elements, and I'm thinking I'm just going to do not a double spread, just this one. I'm working in this art journal that is just a sketchbook, and the quality of the paper wasn't so great, so I just glued down 2 pages together, and now I've got something nice to work on. So I'm going to start this page with all kinds of black and white elements. Now I've got my stash, and there are so many things that you can use and have around. If it's coloring pages, some stenciling, tissue paper that I've stamped before, all kinds of printouts. This paper came in a frame that I've bought. Print, all kinds of stuff that I've printed before. Some deli paper that I just doodled on top. This is a part of a placement. More doodling, book pages, stamping, doodling. You can use whatever you have. And if you have more stenciling, stencil away with black on top of the white. If you've got stamps, stamp away with black on top of the white. Some doodling that I've done and just scanned and photocopied again and again. Paper napkins, a music sheet can work, or a paper napkin with music notes. More paper napkins. Here is what I've said that I have from a frame that I bought that was inside. More coloring pages. So endless options to use. So I really like to have some words in the back, all kinds of letters or numbers, so I'm picking this for one of the elements in the back. Of course, this is something that I've stenciled on a deli paper. It doesn't have to be. I just like to have it in my stash, and then I can use whenever I want. If not, I would just take the stencil and stencil here. I want some flowery elements, so I'm picking this, and maybe something from here. I'm not sure. It's just playing, and maybe some, I don't know, we'll see. So let's start with something, and this is not planned. You just put it in the background, and so you will have a visual texture. That's it. It's not so someone can read it, and most of it is going to get pushed back, not covered completely. Some of it will be covered completely, some is just going to be pushed back. So I'm taking a piece of this, and this is just a white glue, and I'm going to glue it here. Like so. On top also. Now I do like to have, if I'm using something, I do like to have it like 3 times on my background. It creates some kind of pattern that when you look at it, the eye is getting a pattern. So that's what I'm doing. As you can see, I'm doing it quite quickly. It really doesn't matter. I'm not even looking what it says. Here we go. 3 times here. Let's see, what else did I want to put here? Yeah. So taking a little bit of the coloring page, think I have two of them. Yeah. Okay. Here it is. Let's do... Now I'm mostly keeping all this visual texture towards the edges, but you don't have to. Most of this technique is that once you have all these details in the back, then you start on top of it to decide what you keep and what you push back and what you make disappear completely. So it really doesn't matter. You can put something here in the middle or whatever, and then you can cover it with gesso. So let's see, let's take another piece of something and, well, let's put it here. Don't care. As I said, this is just so we will have interest in the back. And of course the pieces can overlap, like so. There are no rules to it. Have fun. Glue away. Okay. And just one more piece, I think. I think this is it. Yeah. So now this needs to be completely dry before I'm doing anything else, so I'll be back. Okay, I am back and I've decided that I want more details, picked this stamp. Now if you are using stamp on this background, use a permanent ink pad like Archival Inks, Stays On, Memento, something like that. And again, I'm just going to put this randomly in several places that I want. And again, I don't know what will stay and what will get covered. So I've got this. Now I've got here some gesso, and there are two ways to go about it. You can just use your finger and start smearing on your page, even where you don't have anything, like here. And this is just so everything will come together, like so. Or in here on what you are pushing back, then you need to add a little bit of water to your gesso. You don't want it to completely disappear, you just want to push it back. So, oopsie. Okay. If you would see the contraption I have here just to hold my phone and record, you would laugh your pants off. So, a little bit of water, and also if you are more comfortable, you can use some paintbrush if you don't want to use your fingers. And I'm just taking a little bit of gesso with water and going over these elements. And it's better to be very gentle at first, not a lot of gesso, and just later on add where you think it's needed. It would be very, very difficult to remove if you don't like something, so it's better to do it very lightly and then add if you need it. Just a little bit more water. So as you can see, I'm moving quite quickly in covering all these black and white elements, pushing it back, and going over places that I think that need more pushing back. Now I will use more of the gesso without the water where I have edges like this, because I wanted to blend into the rest of the page. I'm not interested in all these edges, and it's just playing around until you are satisfied with the result. As you can see, I'm putting more gesso where I have all kinds of edges from what I've put on. And again, I'm doing it gently until I'm satisfied. And if I don't like how this piece is getting inside the page and I want it less prominent, then I will just put more gesso and just cover what I don't like and leave what I like. So as I said, it's just playing with what you're covering and what you're not, and just pushing back. Let's see. I don't like this edge, and let's push a little bit more here. And sometimes you also need to let everything dry and take a step backwards and look at everything together before you decide to push more back. It's just you need to balance between between what you want to see, what you want to be prominent and not. Okay, now I'm satisfied, so I'm leaving it be. It needs to be completely dry before I continue. I'll be back. Okay, so finished with the gesso. Next step is adding some bit of color to the background, and this is what's going to be a part of my focal image. I want some of these leaves from this napkin, so I've picked some autumn colors. I've got some olive green here, some ochre and orange, and I'm going to use a baby white because I want to add the acrylic paint very lightly. Now it's something that is a little bit difficult for me to leave white spaces, but that's how it goes. That's how I've made the other page. So as you can see, I'm just dipping into and putting it lightly on the page. Of course, I can always go back, and if I don't like, just picking a little bit of the gesso. And again, also with this, so I won't have harsh lines. Everything is blending together like I've done with the bits of paper in the back. So I'm going to do the same thing with the paint and just use the gesso to blend everything together, so I won't have harsh lines, like so. and I really need to remember to leave white areas. It's need to be light. Now you don't have to use acrylic paint. You can use anything that is water soluble. You can use chalk pastels and then smear it again with a baby wipe. You can use watercolors. Anything that is not completely opaque will work. So I just want a little bit more of the orange in. Okay, so my camera suddenly quit on me, and the only thing I've done is just spread some more color on the page and just blending with the gesso. I'm going to take a little bit more of the gesso just so I will have more of the white here in this area, but basically this is it. And maybe just a little bit more color here. Again, there is no rules, just play with what you have and where you like it. Okay, here it is. That's my background for now, at least. And I want to take some leaves out of this paper napkin, and because I really want only the leaves and it's not on a white background, I'm going to fussy cut them. And because it's a paper napkin and it's really dainty, I'm not removing now the two layers of white that in the back. It's easier to fussy cut something like this out of a paper napkin when it still has the backing. Otherwise, if I had a white background, then I would just, it wouldn't matter, because when you have white background of a paper in a paper napkin, it will just disappear on your page when you glue it down. There, of course, there you can always take the you can remove the two plies of white in the back, glue the whole paper napkin onto a white page, and then fussy cut it. Whatever is more easier for you. So I'm going to just continue doing this and taking out. I want this leaf and this one and maybe just another one. We'll see. So I'll be back once I'm finished fussy cutting it. Finished fussy cutting 3 leaves, and basically I want to place them like this. So once again, just white glue and some soft brush. Let's see, and I prefer to use some soft and flat brush so it won't drag my paper napkin. And let's see, I'm starting with this leaf that I want here. Just make sure you have enough glue and just use the flat of the brush like so, again, so it would slide and not drag your paper napkin. Trying to be gentle and also not move from the place I want it to be. Here we go. Let's see, yeah, something like that. Just putting down enough glue. If you miss a spot, that's when you get air bubble. Okay, and once again on top. Oopsie. Okay, so it's in place. It needs, of course, to dry, and I want to add some words, and I've printed some words from a Simon and Garfunkel song, and I really like this season change with the scenery, weaving time in a tapestry. So that's what I'm going to take now. Let's see. Maybe I should move this before I'm doing something to damage it. Yeah. Because I'm a genius about doing something like that and putting my head in the paint and all kinds of stuff like that. Okay. Just trimming, so I won't have all this white. Oops, what's happening today? It's just printer paper, but nonetheless, why? Okay, here we go. That's it. So I've got the words that I want to put on my page, and as you can see, it's on printer paper and it's stark white, so it doesn't work for me. I don't want it to be like this. I want it like here, and I want it again to work with the rest of the page. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try, let's see, let's put it here. Again, this is still wet. Let's try and add some of the same color I've got in the back with the baby wipe. Let's see. I'm checking it here before I'm adding it. Of course, I can also use all kinds of inks, but I already got the paint here, so I figured let's put it to good use. Okay. Now I'm going to let this dry, and what I'm thinking is, because it's pushed back, the writing, it's not completely black. Maybe when it's dry I'll just go over it with a fine marker. We'll see. So this needs to dry, this needs to dry, and I'll be back. So everything is in place, but I want to add more details and something that will bring everything together. So first I'm gonna start with some stamping. It doesn't have to be stamping, it can be stenciling, whatever. And I've got some distress ink, I've got spiced marmalade and crushed olive, and I'm going to use this leaf stamp to again just, and I've picked these colors so it will add some detail without again overwhelming the page. It's still part of the background. So I'm randomly adding this to my background. Don't know how much of it you can see, but it's there, so I really like it. And well, let's do just a little bit of stenciling. I've got this stencil and I'm taking a little bit of paint here with a makeup sponge, and let's see. Again, quite randomly, I want this. And as you can see, I'm mixing the colors. I'm keeping it very, very subtle. Yeah. And I know that it's hardly noticeable, but that's the whole idea. It doesn't need to be too much on this page. Okay, let's see, maybe just a little bit more hints of colors in several places to bring everything together. Okay, so I really like what's going on here. I'm just thinking about darkening the edges. I've got Olive Grove Memento ink pad, and I'm using this makeup brush and hoping that I can darken the edges like so and still keep the soft look of the whole page. Again, I don't want harsh edges. Now I'm thinking that maybe with this soft brush I will go in and do some shading to the leaves, just so everything would look a little bit more dimensional. We'll see. I'm just gonna finish with the edges. Yeah, so let's see, maybe just a little bit on the underneath the leaves, and just like a drop shadow. Yeah. That's it. That's my page. I'm leaving it be. There is a white space here. Who would have thought? Okay, so this is it. That's the same thing that I've done, the same technique, the same steps I've done in this page that you wanted to know how I've done it. So here it is. I hope you liked it. Hope you'll do something like it and have fun with it. Thank you for watching, and thank you for leaving me comments down below. I'll be seeing you in my next video. Bye for now.